Good morning, everybody. Lauren Nicole here, energy practitioner, and I'm super excited to be doing this workshop today, talking about the meditation tools that I utilize to help when meditating and to help you find that inner peace. So, I want to start off by saying you don't need anything but yourself when you're meditating. You don't need extra tools or anything, okay? It's not a necessity. However, sometimes it's helpful. I've found it to be helpful when I was starting out to utilize some tools. So that is what I'm going to be sharing with you today. I think the most important tool is one we have within, which is our breath, and always coming back to our breath. Meditation is this process of, letting go of the outside world, going in and finding that calm. And the best way to do that is through our breath. And our breath is the one part of our autonomic nervous system that we have control over. We can control our breathing. So that is first and foremost. So I'm just going to walk you through how the process works for me, right? So number one, I'm going to say, set up a routine if you don't already have one. If you want to start meditating and this has been something that you're like, yeah, I know I should, or I've tried, but I haven't. At first you have to commit to it. Do it for a month, do it for 30 days and notice how you feel, right? So first is making the commitment and having the routine. So I'll tell you what my routine is and what works for me. I like meditating first thing in the morning. It sets the tone for my day. You may find that you prefer to do it at night. For me, after the end of the day and I'm finally getting the kids in bed, I'm too tired. There's just too much going on. So find a routine that works for you. So for me, I get up early. My alarm goes off at 5:30. I roll out of bed, maybe splash some water on my face, and I go right to my meditation station, as I like to call it. For me, it's in my walk-in closet. It's a little, I kind of took that over. My poor husband his closet's in the other room. But so yeah. I have a little table there. It has my crystals on it that I like, and I have a meditation pillow. Okay, so for me, I do have back issues sometimes, and the pillow has been really helpful to me. You don't have to have a meditation pillow per se. Maybe just grabbing a pillow. It's nice to have a little bit of cushion when you're sitting. So, and finding a space that's comfortable. Right? So that's part of the routine, finding this comfortable space. And I would have it be, the same space that you go to every day. Now, as someone that has back issues, I find it helpful sometimes, if I'm feeling extra achy or uncomfortable, to be seated up against the wall so that my spine is straight up against the wall. Very helpful. And then there are those days where I still can't get comfortable, even when I'm, shifting my hips around on the pillow. And then I will lie down on the floor. I will say that sometimes I will fall asleep, and I just chalk that up to, well, that's what my body needed in that moment. But definitely find a space. Do not be meditating in your bed, because your bed is associated with sleeping, and that is automatically what's going to happen, right? Okay. So finding your space. And then I mentioned that I have crystals. And so I like to use crystals. It's simply holding the crystals in my hand while I do it. And I have a few of my crystals here that I will, I'll show you guys. I have this is one of my new ones that I got this weekend. I don't know if you guys saw my post about going to this fair this weekend, this Mind, Body, Spirit Festival, which was amazing. But I got this. This is called Lepidolite. It's purple. It's shiny. It's when you touch it, it's very smooth, but it also kind of almost like flakes in your hand. It's I don't know, but I'm trying to remember what the woman told me was in this, but it's really good for stress and anxiety. And it actually has an element that I guess is in a lot of anxiety medications, which I found interesting. And I probably wrote that down somewhere, but I don't have that right in front of me. Yeah, so if I'm feeling anxious, depressed, stressed, I have started to grab this. This is a new one. Okay, healerite. This is also one of my favorites. It's this little green stone. It's very smooth. It just feels really good in my hands. I sometimes I'll grab this during the day too, and just and find myself just like rubbing the stone. This one is really for emotional healing. So grabbing that, if I'm feeling that. Orange calcite. This one is if you're feeling if you really need some energy. So a good rule of thumb is that if the stone is orange or red, those are energizing stones or crystals. And if they are more purple or blue, like the lepidolite or labradorite, they are more calming stones. So I can go into detail, maybe doing another little workshop more on stones and crystals. But yeah, for me, that's a tool that I like to utilize. Having something in my hand can be helpful. Speaking of which, I have on today this mala. So I'm just going to take this off so you guys can see. This is another tool that I use. I love this. I got this when I went to a training for a yoga training, Warriors at Ease training. It's made by a veteran, which is really cool. And so the mala, the purpose of the mala is that you can see these little beads here, and you just keep your finger on each bead as you repeat a mantra. I feel like this is a really good thing for beginners too, because it gives you something to focus on, right? A lot of the time I'll have people say to me that their mind is wandering and their thoughts are going all over the place. So if you have something in your hand, so to occupy, that touch, that sensation, and then also you're repeating that same mantra over and over again, it's easier to stay in that concentrated state, if that makes sense. And what you do is you just start, for this one, you just start where the tassel is, and then you work your way around for each bead until you come back up around. That can be really helpful. What else? Music, if you so choose. I like to sometimes, not always, but you can choose to listen to some music. I like to listen to crystal bowls. My friend Jen has a recording of her crystal bowls, and I will, sometimes play that, and it helps me. It helps me concentrate on the sound, the outside sound. But again, you don't need music. Even if you have everybody in their house, if you just stop for a moment and just listen, what do you hear? When I do that, I hear my dog deep breathing back here, and I hear the sound of my computer, like that kind of like low hum. And so if you do that wherever you are in your home, and you listen for that sound, whatever it is, and kind of just tune into that sound. Again, it's something that directs your attention in an area, and it allows those other thoughts to melt away. The other option is guided meditations. That's another tool that is really helpful. I don't do that as much anymore, but it was something that I definitely did when I was first starting out meditating every day. And there are tons of apps out there. I used the Headspace app, but there's lots of apps out there. There's lots of YouTube videos that you can use. I actually have recorded a few meditations that are on my website, and if anyone wants any of those, let me know, and I can send them to you or send you the link so that you can get those. But these are all things that can help you. But it really comes down to your commitment to wanting to do this. And when I meditate, after I meditate, I usually do some tapping, a few minutes, and you don't have to have it for that long. You can just do it for 5-10 minutes, right? Just start off small. Don't make it a huge thing. And I would be shocked if you didn't naturally find that you want to sit there for longer, right? If you just commit, okay, I'm going to sit there for 5 minutes every day. And if you just do that and you want to get up, then you're good. It's really just, it's time for you to have thoughts and come back, and just come back to yourself over and over and over again. And so I know that Sharanda asked a question. And so her question was, when thoughts enter the mind, do you allow yourself to finish them or stop and focus on your breath? What if it's a negative thought? Great question. So for me, as soon as I recognize that I'm not, I'm not concentrating on my breath, but I'm thinking about, oh, what I have to do later, I automatically, wherever I am in the thought, I just come back to the breath, right? And if it's a negative thought, which definitely can happen when we've got all this stuff going on in our lives, same thing. As soon as I recognize that I'm going somewhere, it's like, no, this 5 to 10 minutes, this time is for me, and I'm not gonna let the outside thoughts come in right now. I'm gonna come back to my breath. And if the negative thought comes back in, which it very likely may do, it's okay. Come back to your breath. And you may have to do that a lot, especially in the beginning, because the thoughts are there, right? We're always going to be thinking. It's okay. Like, that's part of this process. And even if you can't stop the thoughts, even if you find that you can't stop the thoughts at all, give yourself some grace for showing up and doing this, and that it can be a reflective time for you too, right? So, but to answer your question, even if it is a negative thought, I do still try to just bring myself back to the breath, back to the breath, back to the moment. And know that it's a practice, right? It is a practice, people. Like, we're not going to be, and there's days where, that are harder than others, where it's like, oh, I just feel really frustrated because, yeah, my mind is going in a million miles an hour. And that is okay. Knowing that is okay. And you can always try again. Right? That's what it's about. And I like to journal, even if it's just a sentence or two of something that has come up for me or something that I'm feeling afterwards. And it feels good. And it's fun. It's fun for me too, to go back and kind of see what has come up over and over again, or it's like, what am I thinking right now after the meditation? Like, what am I thinking? It's like, and sometimes it's something like, I am love, I am light. Maybe it has to do with the mantra that I was saying. Sometimes it's, today's going to be a good day. Something simple, whatever it is, write that down, have a little book near your meditation station, and see how that evolves over a 30-day period of time. So I would love to hear, for those of you that are new to meditation, how it's going for you, what struggles you have. I want to be able to help you through that. If you have utilized any of these tools or any other tools that you want to share with the group, please do so. And yeah, I'm sending so much love to all of you, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Bye.